Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This khutbah, I did not expect to speak to a large group of children, actually. So I'm giving this khutbah off the cuff, but I want to start with something very important for all of you. I noticed that a lot of the teachers have to keep saying shh every few seconds. You guys know that when the prayer begins, when salah begins, then none of you are having a conversation. And if you did, that would be a really serious problem, right? The Friday khutbah, the moment the adhan is done and the khatib starts speaking, even if it's the most boring speech you've ever heard in your entire life, it's actually considered a part of the prayer. It's considered a part of the prayer. So if you guys are talking about anything in that time, or communicating, texting, whispering, whatever, you're doing that in the middle of prayer. So it's just, and it's not something offensive to the khatib, or offensive to your teachers, or offensive to each other, or disturbing somebody else. It's actually an offense against Allah. And it's better you learn that sooner rather than later, right? Because sometimes kids never learned that properly, and then later on, they become adults, and you'll find the khatib is giving a khutbah, and some adults are having a conversation with each other because they never learned it when they were kids. The other thing I notice here is a lot of you are older and many of you are younger. And the ones that are older among you, you need to recognize something. Whether you know the younger kids in the room or not, they look up to you. They copy your behavior. And what's interesting to me, I saw, because I was giving the khutbah in Arabic and I know most of you weren't paying attention, but I was paying attention to you. I was spying on you. And while I was spying on you, I realized that the younger kids were actually far more quiet than the older ones. And the older ones were doing a lot of the talking, which means you're okay with setting that example for those younger kids. That's not okay. You need to become a better example for the other kids in the school that are younger than you. Even if you don't know them or you know them, you are, like it or not, a role model. Like it or not, you're always someone who sets an example. You know, in the society we live, in the world we live, everybody says, mind your own business. That's my life, I do whatever I want, doesn't matter. Leave me alone. I'm free to make whatever choice I make. What's it to you? Why does anybody care? I don't care. That's the kind of attitude that's taught over and over again. But actually, everything you do affects someone else. Even things you do just for yourself affects someone else. Everything you do, the Quran describes, leaves a trail behind you. And people see a trail, like if you're in the woods and you don't know where to go and you see that there's a less grass in one patch, which means somebody walked that part already, so you're gonna go that way. And then more people go that way and the grass starts disappearing and that becomes a trail. And then the next time somebody comes along, they don't even think about going in any other direction, they follow the trail. They just go in that same trail. But the first person who walked that trail, that made a little bit of a roadway, became an example for everybody else, right? So that's an important reminder for myself and for all of you. And I wish all the best to all of you. And well, I used to be in charge of a campus where I taught, you know, I used to give khutbah and there were lots of kids in the khutbah, there were adults in the khutbah. And usually what I would do is I would make sure that the kids were not sitting together in the beginning. Because when they sit together, you know what happens. And then when the khatib is speaking, the khatib is thinking, are they talking about me? Is that what they're doing? Because they're pointing and laughing and they're whispering like those two guys are whispering right now, like those two, yeah, like them, yeah. Yeah, no, it's okay, don't be embarrassed. Hey, you're gonna do it, you're gonna get called out, so, right? So when that happens, I realized that's also not the best way to go. So I allowed them to sit together. But the only thing I did then is I made a policy. If you would like to speak during the khutbah, I'd like to stop the khutbah, bring the mic over to you, and then have you continue your conversation in front of everyone. And all of a sudden, in the entire community, our kids were the most behaved. Because nobody wanted to become a celebrity over that kind of behavior.